So let's see what we get as we go into map number 1 on ley lines. In the bottom left-hand corner, finished second place in his group. It is the blue Zerg player Solar, taking on the red Protoss in the top right. BQ in his group, but lost to ShoWTimE, had a bit of a disaster in the end. Lost to Spirit too. It is ShoWTimE in the top right. See how his PvZ's looking. Here today. So, we got Celled, and we look to see what will go down in this one. Obviously, I do think we'll see some solo aggression. I do think we'll see ShoWTimE try and draw some games out longer. I think we're going to see some Tempest in this series, because Solo is likely going to end up on some Lurkers as well. Okay, it finishes up at the front. The Nexus is building through. And the extractor gas or hatch gas and pool coming online. Nothing's too surprising for the first few minutes here. As we get up and ready to roll. We're just patrolling around a little bit. Queen on the way up. Get that on the go as well. Couple of Lings going to go back toward the Pro Bill, so just going to chase that down. Nothing too surprising. For our first few moments as the Nexus comes up and the Queens and the drones will continue to be on the way in. For the moment, just bringing all of that through. Ling speed is starting. The couple of Lings on the way out. The hatchery is going to be continuing up as well from Solar. As we get the, again, first starting moments of this game really do just kind of look as you expect them to. Nothing super exciting. We got ourselves the Stargate. Maybe from there we'll start to see some interest. How many Oracles do we build is already going to be a pretty good question mark. That's already going to be one thing of intriguement here. So yeah, a few things we can kind of build up on now over these next few minutes. As the Probe and the Adept going to dance about a little bit. There's the Nexus going down already, in fact, so Nexus gets put into place. The Stargate on the way through. I think they're going to make their way out. Lings be coming up. Queen on the way through as well. We get this continuing to go. Just for the moment. We'll see those few Lings get that Ling speed. The first Oracle out. It's going to start coming across the map. Oracle gets all the way to the bottom left. Queen's just shooting, the Oracle taking some damage. I see that Oracle comes back up the left. Twilight Council coming through for the moment as well. Continue to settle down here. Let's continue to move. Again, Rotoron, Lair building up. The drones are coming in as well. Just continue to get that settled. Let's see, the Queen's going to fire up, and the Oracles will take some shots as well. And good hits right on the bat of that one. Oracles come back up from the bottom side. Again, Rotor and Evo Chamber Lair all coming through. The additional drones on the way. The Overlord is building up. And +1 blink, and I think Gateway's coming out as well here from ShoWTimE. So again, that Gateway count going. Again, +1 blink all coming in. The Adepts are going to come over. The Lings are going to get chased around. That Oracle overhead helping to chase the Lings just a little bit as well. Into ShoWTimE, get to the center of the map. The Oracles and Adepts together going to come moving across. As well block the Adepts from getting in at all. Adepts will have to go for a shade. I actually thought that first Adept was going to die, but we let it live, and we will hit the mineral line here with 3 Adepts up and running. Good for pulling the drones quickly, but we're going to lose a few workers, so ShoWTimE going to be good to get 4 workers. Not quite reach across from number 5 with an additional shot there. Not a terrible start from ShoWTimE at all. It's all being reduced on that work account, making his way to the Hydra Den. And ShoWTimE, with a little bit of pressure made, is now going to make his way to the Temple Archives as well. So he's going to start bringing that up, getting that underway. These Oracles are going to come up and through as well, so they are going to get moving for a little bit. Stasis will just keep coming down, and ShoWTimE will take some steps forward in toward these queens. Gonna be able to get one of those as well. Solar does have the first proper set of Hydras on the way here, so that should help a lot. It should go a long way, as we do see the Stalker still hitting through. And the Hydra's gonna be able to come back over as well. Stalker's blinking back a little bit. We see now Stalker's coming back through, Ling's getting chased, Oracle's going to continue to drop the stasis wards down. Stalker's will shoot through, Crypto goes down, a couple queens are going to get hit. Going back the other way, Ling Hydra continuing up as well. Continue to shove through just a little, a couple more stasis wards coming on in. As we do have those Hydras able to, again, keep pushing back, but the thing is for ShoWTimE is he's stepping up into Storm. He's getting some good additions going here at the moment. One's coming across, Stasis is going to catch a few of those Lings as well. As long as we have a Storm, I'm not super worried about this army of Solar, because I do think it's going to be difficult for him with Storm up to really push in, but I mean, he's just spamming Roaches. He's just going to send this. Like I say, I do think ShoWTimE's got a reasonable setup against it with Storm available. Can do so much here. Stalker's actually going to blink across. A few of those Hydra's going to get jumped on. So that's going to be there as well. Good defense so far. We've not even had to utilize the High Templar too much just yet, as they're going to step forward now, looking for the Storm to drop. Still not dropping it. I was going to say, surely at some point soon, because we are just trading. May as well get those units dropped on HP through some splash damage already. The Storm comes down, chasing the Roaches back. Infestation bit behind this, as Solar realizes maybe he is not going to make this happen on just Roach Hydra. Roach Hydra still coming up, just going to blink in. My Templar is able to maybe get involved as well, as our Roach Hydra will continue to go down. Some of those Roaches coming back through, Zealots are still stepping up, the Stalker's going to be there as well. Just going to get back on track, a few Roaches taking hits again. More damage being done. The Stalker's still stepping up. Roach is taking a bit of a beating. The Stalkers will get back onto the Zerglings. Hydras and Roaches still moving about, plus 2 missiles coming in here as well. Yeah, the Hive is producing as well here from Solo, so that Hive about halfway done. Their attack continues through ShoWTimE. I mean, this is the kind of game I guess I was kind of expecting on both sides. Solar throws aggression at ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE's going to draw it out to a longer game. I think it's a pretty good example of what to expect in this series. Solar is a beast later in the game too. But he definitely has those more aggressive tendencies in this matchup as well. A couple of storms coming through. Good storms as well, hitting a lot of the Hydras there. Just gonna see the Stasis Ward catching as well. These few Stalkers have to step back. ShoWTimE will get the other units in position. The extra Stargates and the Fleet Beacon is a very natural next step. So obviously you get those Tempers going, and they're going to be ready to start dealing with this higher look count that Solar's starting to get to. I say ready, I mean, if you start building some right now, might be close with some Chrono Boost, you might be able to pop them out in time. The look is going to be done soon. First Tempers start up. As Solar comes over to the right-hand side here on ley lines. Those Tempers coming through. Lings, Hydras, Roaches, all coming about. Sizing Spines coming up as well. There goes Unburrow. The Stork's going to step back a little bit against those Lings. The Roach is still coming through. The Zealots go charging up again. Getting straight in over there as the Lurkers, the Hydras continue about. A couple more Lings going down. Roaches as well. Taking some pretty serious damage. Honestly, this is nice though, because anytime you're forcing these Lurkers to be burrowed at home and defending, it means they're not across the map putting pressure on. As the Storm comes through, the Hydra's going to take some big hits. We put down to the low ground. One more Storm and a Hydra goes down as well. Will continue to go after those Roaches. The Lurker Hydra comes back across. We do see one Oracle going down. The second Oracle just about lives. Again, Spire coming up. We're just going to be seeing our Link Hydra Lurker continue to burrow in the center. Plus 2 armor upgrade. As ShoWTimE already has very good upgrades across the board. With the Mothership popping, his army gets so much better as well. Has the Revelation on the front Lurker, so he's able to pop that before he takes a step back away from the others. Like on the right side, gonna zone quite nicely. As ShoWTimE's not afraid, right? I mean, he has the Storms available here too. Obviously, he's split his army. A lot of it's up to the top, and he realizes more of it's now down to the bottom. It's time for him to pull back with that topside army, and that's the beauty of what Solar is doing. He's forcing ShoWTimE to be out of position by having been correctly positioned just previously. I love what that High Templar's able to do with those Storms. Really softens up some of those Lurkers, softens up a lot of the Ling Hydra. He's trying to step forward with the Hydras here, but Solar's clearly going to struggle to do that. He is on the way to the Corruptors. The Spire is up and available for him to get an answer to these Tempers fairly soon. Tempers really do keep on chasing. The Zealots are going to get back onto the hatchery there, so they're just going to pick their way through that as well. Templar's just going to shoot a few shots. The Lurkers are going to come back over. And now Stalker and Mortal High Templar coming over as well. We are going to go and pick our way through a couple of Spines. The Corruptor's taking some hits as well. So that's going to turn back onto those Zerglings. The Corruptor's going to start chasing Tempest. Push back one more time here. Corruptors burrow up again. Those few Zealots also going to get picked away at right now. 15 drones going down. Gotta say, ShoWTimE, his army's looking very good. That would be a nice catch on a bunch of Lurkers for free. We take those. Yeah, I mean, his army's looking good. His base count's looking fantastic. He's on 5, moving to 6 bases. He's got an answer to everything in my eyes. I mean, the Corruptor count is good as well, but it's still just kind of Corruptor Hydra Lurker, really. This is an army composition you can handle right now. First Storm's a little slow to go down there, and actually the Corruptor's getting a little bit of a jump on that army. A couple of Tempests went down. Time War definitely helps to sustain through that a little bit. Another nice Storm. You've got to work your way through those Corruptors in a slow process. As we continue to move back, Tempest and the Mothership all going down. Look how low the Corruptors end up here. And ShoWTimE desperately kind of paddles away. With a few more Archons, Tempest can continue to come through. Additional Lurkers just morphing from Solar. Looks like he might just try and send it on the back of clearing up a bunch of those Tempests. But the fact that ShoWTimE has so many in production, to me, I think signifies that he's probably just going to be okay here anyway. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. The Lurker's trying to get up the right-hand side. Another Storm. So many of those Corruptors are hurting. And considering we've got new Tempests coming out all the time, we're going to have to replace these Corruptors, and we've just not been doing that. The Blink 4 to protect against the Corruptors as well. The Tempest shots reaching from afar. All of that going a big way to helping right now as our Lurkers continue to stay burrowed and continue to push up. Doing a great job at the moment. So let's continue to push around on the bottom. Just going to continue to chase the Queens down. The Corruptors over in the skies. Again, Corruptorling all coming through. The Overseers overhead. A few transfusions to bring these Corruptors back healthier. And ShoWTimE is definitely continuing to play a very solid game number one here. Definitely not done, but I love his position. I mean, to me, Solar is kind of all in with the amount of Lurkers he has. I think he just has to go for one big push, but I mean, he gets chipped down over time. The Corruptors, I'm not even sure the Corruptor can is good enough here to really deal with the Tempest and the apt kind of timing. Little shots there, but we've got to pull back over to the right, make sure we don't give him this base position for free. There's actually going to be one Tempest going down for free, though. Okay, well, it was free until we turned around and shot Corruptor down with one big volley. Lurker's going to stay burrowed, and obviously this is where we want those Tempests to fire from afar. The rest of the Lurkers stepping up, and this is why I said I think Solar's a little bit all in, because he's just so Lurker heavy that he basically just has to take a position and hope that it sticks. Anything else I don't think we can really make work. He's also only on 5 bases himself, so it's not like Solar's economy is insane. He's denying a base additional of the Protoss over his own. It's not like he's keeping the Protoss pinned down on bases while he's out expanding him. Anything but, in fact. Corruptors pull back again, +3 air weapons coming through. Extra Link Corruptor Force coming about, +2 air weapons is on its way as well. Those Lurkers are still firing, and we have ourselves the Nexus in the top left side also coming up at the moment. Another Revelation goes down, those Lurkers getting caught. Multiple of those Lurkers already dropping as we chase forward. A few more Lurkers continue to fall. Zel's on the other side going to kill the Roachron. That's not a major factor, but again, just slowly chipping through positions and locations and structures. And yeah, I think ShoWTimE is going to continue to just bully his way through with these Tempests. I think in these next games, Soul's going to have to either up the aggression scale a little bit earlier, or obviously just kind of skip out on that Roach Hydra aggression phase that we have in this game and just really steam forwards ahead into the later game armies that he's better set from that point, you know, from an earlier stage. ShoWTimE's got Stalkers to deal with these Corruptors. You're going to lose the Tempest, yes, but like you lose every Corruptor in this process. And Solar knows that that is obviously not exactly a great scenario because ShoWTimE obviously has a very good army himself. Money to spend, he GG's out, and ShoWTimE takes the map. In the top left-hand side, our red Protoss is going to be ShoWTimE. He is up a game. Early probe on the map as well. Short enough map to get across on and still play the hatch block. As in the bottom right side, our blue Zerg is Solar. Can he swing the series into his favor here for game number 2? Can he try and keep some of the Zerg presence alive in this tournament? Very possible we go into Sunday, tomorrow, with no Zergs left. If ShoWTimE goes on a run here. You know, if it means that ShoWTimE gets to go on a run, I'll take it. I don't mind. I don't know if I mind that too much. I think that's okay. I think that's alright. I'm gonna nibble the probe. Let's see our pool coming up. The enhanced gas and pool across the board here at the moment. The probe continuing by. All the drones on the way through. As we see the Nexus starting up on the side of ShoWTimE, so we got that Nexus going into play. The Overlord stepping to the front as well. Seeing what we can do from here. Cybercore comes up, the Nexus on the way, Lings and Queens in production. Let's just have our probe continue to move around in the main base. Gonna pull back toward the natural. Twilight Council from ShoWTimE is obviously a fun little way to switch up, and I kind of like it for the fact that it is a map here which is shorter and typically more aggressive on the side of Solar as well. But what that also means is that, you know, you can get aggressive with the Adepts. You just gotta be careful. If you play the Adept aggression here, be super careful of the Zerg just continuing to build units and all in you on the return. That's gonna be one of the more popular options for Solar as a response to this. We will see how it goes as the probe continues to set up. President Glaze will Chrono Boost, a couple more gateways coming online. Make it 3, so it's the typical 4-gate glaive commitment. You know what? This is so unlike ShoWTimE as well. I wonder if there's a world where Solar just does not have preparations for this, because in his mind, when would ShoWTimE play a 4-gate glaives? I wonder if that's possibly a factor, because ShoWTimE is such a sticker to the kind of the Stargate Oracle openers. Like, he really does just stick to that and refuses to move off of it a lot of the time. Right now, there's no Roach Roan on the way. Literally, as I say it, there's a Roach Roan on the way. Okay, he builds the Roach Roan right now. Is that soon enough? Prism's popping, Glaives over halfway done. Those Roaches are going to be in production when the first Adepts are connecting. And this is 5 gates as well. This is a step up. This is going to go to 6 gates. This is as committed as ShoWTimE can be with Adepts. We're building a lot of Lings, but ShoWTimE, I think, is going to have a jump on this with the Roaches being low in number and struggling to get up and into position. So yeah, I think this is going to be looking really good here on the side of ShoWTimE. President Glave's about to finish. A couple more gates coming through. There are the Adept Shade, and they want to commit to somewhere they can stand and fight right now. I mean, do they? They may not, because the extra gates coming online. ShoWTimE might think he's got a better chance of this if he just gets a few more warp-ins first. We'll see with the extra gates going online. He's about to surge in numbers. The first few Roaches are building here. The Adept's going to shade forward again. Solar's actually in a heavy supply block. He's had to build 6 Overlords. That's why there's no more... Yeah, that's why there's no more units coming through. The Ling's actually just going to back away from this as they were completely stuck in an awful position there. A couple of Roaches popping out. We're going to get rid of a couple of Queens. So the transfusions get kind of eaten through. Remember that we can warp in a bunch of Adepts as well, and that's what we're doing in the main base. This is not something you usually get to do, but because you're on 6 gateways, you can do this much more easily and find positions where you can actually get those Adepts to kind of continue to mass up. It's dangerous, though, because it means that reinforcements are not coming in over here. And we do have to find somewhere to stop with that Prism and actually get a warp in from. Because Adepts are just farming the Roaches that are spawning off of this third base. There is the warp, and the Queens are not nearby. The Prism will successfully get the warp in off. And we are even going to micro the Adepts a little bit on top of that, as we actually do pull the other Adepts from the third base into this natural. We are going to start fighting these Roaches. Is it enough from ShoWTimE? I think so. I think his position's looking good, although this gets a bit awkward because what he just did was shade a bunch of the Adepts to the high ground, leaving the other Adepts on their own. Maybe this is not good enough, in fact. 6 more Adepts warp in again. ShoWTimE, I actually think, is going to be in trouble here. There's too many Roaches now. Wow, credit to Solar. He really found a way to minimize the losses. All of his drones right now are all on the natural as well, which is not exactly ideal. So, I mean, there is a lot of lost mining time to talk about here as well. ShoWTime's going to work a lead. Going to throw the Dark Shrine down, because the one thing that can happen is if the counterattack comes from Solar, he's not on a lair, right? So he doesn't have a way to detect across the map. If DT starts swinging at the Roaches, he cannot deal with that. So it kind of denies the counterattack, but maybe that lair should have come in. Oh, sorry, the Dark Shrine should have come in a little bit sooner. If that Dark Shrine started 30 seconds earlier, it would be on its way to being done now. I'm just afraid that this attack of Solo is going to have a lot of power behind it. He is starting to drone, though. Doesn't look like Solo's going to go all out with his offense. It does seem as though the Prism and the Adepts bought enough time for Solo to stay at home defending. And now ShoWTimE might actually genuinely get a chance to take on a third base. I think he will. Man. That's wild. So much of this must have just been, again, income advantage damage as well. You can see over 2 minutes or so, ShoWTimE on a serious income lead. So that third base drops down, Immortal building up so we can get an answer to the Roaches out. The Dark Shrine obviously going to be a little bit of an issue too. Right now, no spores in the game. If this Prism is in position to warp in, like, this lair's not done either. We can absolutely have a few moments in this game where DTs will be fighting against a very limited detection. There's one spore in the main, nothing on the natural, nothing on the third base. So ShoWTimE with a massive opportunity there. And he is going to warp in DTs, probably to put one in the Prism at least. But I imagine one runs to the natural, and that would be a major success story. These Adepts will not commit to that Shade. Yep, one DT to the main, the other will walk into the natural. Sorry, I tell a lie. There's a spore right out the front. The DT is going to take a shot or two moving in, but then there's no detection actually in the base. Like I say, there's a spore in the main, but not in the natural, so DT will start to get some drones there. And this is going to be Solo having to pull those workers away once again, lost mining time adding up. Maybe not the craziest of DT plays, but a couple of drones. We're going to get out alive as well. And obviously now you can turn those DTs into Archons to have a bulkier, better, techier army in the future as well. So that's also a major plus at this point in time. Obviously, you're still morphing in. A few probes pull across. Drones, Evo Chamber, Roach Speed continue to settle as well currently as our probes get to the third. The Overseer going to go for a scout through, trying to figure out where ShoWTimE's at. You know what? This game's obviously been a weird one in terms of economies available. I wonder if ShoWTimE just looks toward a big old push here to end it. You know, it's Adept, Immortal, Archon. It's not exactly a composition that transitions well later in the game because you're still on Adepts without any other choice. We start a Forge, though, so maybe that's a sign that this will not go in that direction. That's a lot of Lings that are going to be forcing a response here. There's a couple of Adepts, and then maybe force a Warp in, if nothing else. Probes pull away. Obviously, ShoWTimE is probably just going to focus a Warp in on the other side of the map and say, never mind mining off that third base. Those Adepts can commit to the Shade. They didn't commit as far forward as I thought. I thought they might try and catch the Ravagers in like a wraparound or catch some of the Roaches and kind of cut them in half a little bit. A couple of Corrosive Bowels do land on those Adepts as ShoWTimE tries to make this fight happen. He's going to have a third Immortal showing up. His Archon's gone. So there's just 3 Immortals and a bunch of Adepts here. I mean, Immortals can do a lot. We're going to get a couple of Warp-ins. The Ravager's not able to bow far enough forwards to hit the Warp Prism, but the army supply is looking very good for Solo, who's massing up a whole bunch of additional Roaches. This attack from ShoWTimE has really been reliant on the Immortals, and they are just going to be the only thing left, unfortunately. I do not think that will be enough, because it seems as though Solo will take game number 2 entire sub 1-1. ShoWTimE mixing it up in a big way in this game. Again, maybe could have got the Dark Shrine a little sooner. I actually think that was the moment. I think there was a moment where maybe the Adepts split up as well, and after you join them, it's going to be our red Zerg player. This is Solo. Good set of decisions in that last game to tie this up 1-1 in the best of 5. As in the bottom right, our blue Protoss is ShoWTimE. El Dorado, a very different kind of map to what we just saw. Cyrus Karen, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. I've got no idea if I said your name correctly. I appreciate the sub. Thank you so much. My God. You know, you're on someone's camera for like 2 seconds and they decided like they realize they're on your camera and they just freak out. Yay. Alex Pep at 33, thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. A lot moving about. So we've seen a little bit of overload movement. Again, Ling Speed Queens, Lings all coming through for a couple of moments. We're just going to be having our Stargate building up from ShoWTimE as well, so we're going to get that on the go too. Back to the Stargate, not a surprise, considering the map. End up trying to get some damage done. Forced a few drones off the line, so a little bit of damage dealt there immediately. Again, Oracle building up, the warp gate coming in. Settled for a few moments. We're just seeing our pylon dropping down, a couple of adepts moving about. I think it's actually going to get a little surround here, and that's going to be the first adept going down. The second and third adept are not exactly choke points up, so a little rough, but another adept shows up, may actually be enough to save the day. The Oracle commits. 3 drones, going to obviously not die, but takes a good amount of HP damage there, so going to be a little bit weaker from that point. Things continue back over the left side. Assimilators and the Forge continue to come through as well, so we bring that all onto position. Got that all set up. Pilot Council starting up, Forge Gateway on the way through. And Nexus building as well. Oracle's moving around, just going to be seeing the +1 attack coming through, the probes on the way, Gateway and the Twilight Council coming up as well. Evolution Chamber is about to finish. The extra Overlords in production. Again, Twilight Council on the way through as the Queens are going to be there to push the Oracles over to the side. Well, that's just catches a few Lings on the other side. Gonna try and move about. The Adepts are gonna be there to push the Lings back around as well. +1 and Blink on the way up from ShoWTimE. There's 26 additional Lings coming through for Solar. As those Lings try and get up that ramp, we will put a pylon behind the Adept to make sure that this does not get broken into. The Oracles are gonna get a big bit of damage done in the main base. Gets to 5 workers, but we lose an Oracle, maybe a bit greedy. Could have had 4 and then 2 Oracles still alive. Probably would have been better. Let those shields regenerate. And break in here in the end, and that's going to be a lot of damage done, so ShoWTimE has to deal with that. The Oracle F2ing home just about gets through the Queens alive. Another Oracle already there. That's 8 probes going down, so Solar finds some good damage to make up for the damage taken in the early stages. How about a finish? Melee upgrade coming through. Ling's still producing as well. +1 and Blink on the way out. A few extra gates coming about. It's going to be +1 attack continuing to come in. Spire is producing. We do have our melee upgrade coming on forwards. The roach speed coming through. ShoWTimE finishes Blink, you'll get into a more comfortable position, but I think that run by sets him back a little bit. I think it was initially feeling very comfortable for ShoWTimE, but that run by has got to have him at least questioning things a little in terms of where he's at and how this might continue. So Stalkers will warp in, just going to be going out across into the center. Obviously ShoWTimE with that Blink, so much potential. A few Lings going to come in from the other side, so they're not doing anything too wild just yet. ShoWTimE will take the chance to knock down some creep tumors as well. It's a bad revelation, actually doesn't hit any extra creep right there, so missed opportunity perhaps. Obviously Oracles do have uses for their NG stasis wards, very useful in allowing these Stalkers to have a back away plan. Ways to kind of just escape out of here without taking too many losses. The stays there going to catch some of the Lings. The Roaches are still chasing though. The Oracles are going to activate. Some of the Lings from the other side of the map are going to get pulled back as well. Again, more stasis wards. It's just important to have an exit strategy, right? And being able to escape away from some of these fights with those stasis wards makes a big deal of difference a lot of the time. Roach Queen setting up, a couple of Oracles dropping down the stasis wards on the top side. Going to press forwards with these Stalkers. They're going to move straight in toward this as a few of the Stalkers in the bottom getting caught. They're going to try and lead a lot of the Lings into the stasis, which does work, but that's both the stasis wards popped. They're blink forward towards the Roach Queen, but don't know if that's really going to go anywhere. Mutas are popping. The Spire is done from Solar, and the Mutilas aim to be a big game changer in this game. ShoWTimE doesn't know about it, right? So no scouting is going to suck. And obviously the fact that he's on his way to Storm, which is nice. He's got a good Stalker count, which is nice, but the surprise factor of this can just be so costly. So definitely expecting that to be most likely an issue as the Mutalisks gather on the bottom side. He's just going to get rid of the Stalker. The Stalkers in the center just going to come back as that's continuing to go through. Going to be seeing the Mutas in the main base. So it's going to dive in. The Stalkers are going to take a lot of shots. It's going to be seeing the Stalkers continue to fight. They're going to come back in. The Mutas are going to take a few more hits. I mean, good first defense, right? Not letting these Mutas kind of pull you apart is a big thing. And then now you're going to get a chance to build up some Phoenix. The Archons are going to get going as well. ShoWTimE with a good, like I say, first wave of defense. Now, we're not done yet. Long way to go. Mutas are going to come diving back around the bottom once more. Admiral Akbar, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing great today. Thank you so much for supporting the stream as our Stalkers will get there to push the Mutas back. He's just going to dive through. The Phoenix Stalker Archon going to be there. The Mutas get pushed up the right side. Battery going to try and put some work in. This is one of the positions where ShoWTimE did not have a defense kind of in place straight away. Finally gets there. Some of these Mutas start taking damage. Careful of the Phoenix. Don't want to let that kind of go out on its own as Ling Roach is going to swarm this forward base. Now ShoWTimE's out of position over here, and this is the power of the Ling Muta styles. Well, Storm's coming down. High Templar is obviously available. The Phoenix count is better, than it has been. Being at 3 allows you to push back these lower Muta counts, but the Muta count on the right side is a huge deal. 25 workers killed. ShoWTimE's only down 13 workers or so. As we do see the Phoenix actually going to take some losses now. Did not micro those back. $25 probes dead, but like I said, I think ShoWTimE's economy will hold on for a little bit. Thank you again as well to Pill Clinton on the Prime sub and MasterBomb44, 57 months on the Prime. Thank you so much for a long-ass resub. Appreciate it. As the Stalkers continue to push the Mutas away. ShoWTimE's just building 4 probes at a time, constantly re-emplacing his economy. which he is losing out on, which is kind of inevitable when you're playing against these mutas. What he has done, though, is kill a lot of mutas. He's killed 23, and Solar is still just building mutalisks, so he's still desperate to have these mutalisks as part of his plan. This would be really bad for ShoWTimE if he was having to kind of constantly take damage and clean out the mutas, but then his opponent's like transitioning into a better army. As Solar builds more of the same, I think this is pretty good for ShoWTimE. I think this is going to remain in a pretty decent position here. I have the mutas coming back over the bottom right. Two melee coming up, the hive on the way. A lot of mutalisks, holy goodness. More Stalkers warp in, ShoWTimE. 140 to the 180 supply. When it's just Ling Muta, I feel like that's an okay supply gap, but there is a hive on the way, so ShoWTimE is up against a Solar that is tacking, and he is taking the map. 5th base is up, 6th base is up on the gold on the bottom side. Let's see how this Ling Bane performs. I've not really seen a lot of Storms because there's not been a ton of moments to utilize the Storms necessarily. Oh, the probes actually pull into the Banes? I actually feel like those probes made their life more difficult. If they went around this way, I honestly, yeah, I feel like he actually just gave those probes up almost. Hectic scenario, trying to drop Storms, trying to escape with the probes. We're now seeing more kind of roaches being built, so a bit of a sturdier ground army as ShoWTimE continues to just try and hang on in there. ShoWTimE's played a lot of PvZ muta games where I'm sure he knows that patience is just absolutely critical. He needs to be careful, calm, collected. He can't get ahead of himself. Just needs to kind of let this kind of play out. I mean, like I say, it feels really bad because it feels like you're being bullied, but your opponent is on a worse composition than you, right? So, yes, your opponent overall is on a worse fighting composition. It's just about not letting them pull you apart too much. Kind of keeping your cool and keeping your nerve in games like this. Good Storms, keeping that Archon alive is nice as well. Anything you can do to help out in these scenarios is going to help. I think that Archon's going to die. No, we actually don't get far. No, 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 oh my goodness, Nelly died going into the Storm. He's going to die to the Lings now. So finally that Archon falls. Still dealing with mutas back over here. The Phoenix count has never really risen up in a big way. Solar is seemingly done with building mutas. Every mutalisk that goes down right now seems to be one less that ShoWTimE will have to deal with as we're on the Ultralisk Cavern. On the next step of this, I think Solar's done enough, though. He's breaking through on the front, and ShoWTimE just a little bit too chaotic for him to regain control of this. As the Archon goes down, the Zealots are dropping as well. On the bottom side, the mutas get chased away by the Phoenix. Okay, this plate still coming up. I mean, the switch to Ultras, I think, will kill ShoWTimE. Yeah, well played by Solar, because I think it was definitely a good first round of aggression from him, and then ShoWTimE started to stabilize a bit, chase the mutas down. I think Solar's played a good balance of, continuing to reinforce the mutas, and now finally realizing he's getting a bit, a bit more done. Say, okay, scrap the mutas. Let's build an army that can finish things up here. ShoWTimE, I think, realizes what's kind of coming his way. He's going to type GG, and Solar is going to take game 3 to be on a 2. We have in the bottom left corner of the map, the blue Zerg, who is up a game. Solar looking to advance into the quarterfinals to play against Shin with a win on this one. Top right, our red Protoss is ShoWTimE as we get this up and running. Chrono boosts on the Nexus. We guess I'll settle down for a few moments. Look to see what this 4th map will bring us. Catching the gas coming on in here. It's time to show this toss the solar system. Can you imagine? So actually you sat down in like a pre-game interview, it's like, any trash talk for your opponent? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna show him the solar system. So ridiculous, it could be great. few moments of calm here in the start of this game. Number 4, guys. Again, a couple best of 5s left after this. Kind of... If Solar wins this and 5 of our matches today end up being mirror matchups, I mean, it was already a painful bracket. Yeah. At least it would guarantee us a Zerg in the round of 4. Alright, well, we got a hatch going in, Stargate coming up, and get settled here in this game. Number 4, Oracle and Stargate is no surprise. That really is kind of the go-to. We have an adept coming about. You see our Stalker firing, Overlord taking some shots, so a few hits coming through the other direction. Again, Oracle coming around, Gateway coming through, the Nexus building. Okay, it is about to be done. The Oracle going to come out into the center. Nexus going up on the 3rd base as well. And we've seen our Forge and our Twilight continue through again. The Queen's continue bad. Oracle's going to get pushed away. Queen's just going to shoot. Oracle's going to move back around the sides. Again, Twilight Council Forge all coming in. The Robo Facility is about halfway done. The Gateway building next is about to complete. Our Queens will still gather in the center. And +1 charge, both producing on through. Just gonna see how Ling is gonna get there. A couple probes take some damage already. Couple workers going down again. The melee upgrade coming up. The drones are on the way in. Oracles will activate, and a few of those Lings already taking some pretty serious damage. Queens get to the bottom side again, just having ourselves a melee upgrade. A switch of kind of pace from solo to go melee upgrade. It's going to be a little bit kind of Lingbane focus, but we'll have the kind of Ravager support as that Roach Roaring comes through. ShoWTimE gets the Temple Archives going quickly. Again, would not be surprised to see him step towards Storm in a very quick manner here. Get that Storm online and utilize that nicely against a Ling heavy style is going to be something that can do a lot for him. Definitely help him out and head towards potentially a 5th game if he can find a victory here in this game number 4. Blood Depths keep on shading, the Ling's still moving around. Charging +1 coming up. High Templar are still building through. Additional gateways are coming online as well. The Archons in production. Oracle's activating. They're going to get rid of a few drones there already. So 5 drones going down. Going to make it another to make it 6. Prism coming across the map with the Archon drop. Trying to find some damage. We'll take a couple shots on the Queens and then lift up and back away. I am Mentos. Thank you so much for the 41-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you so much for resubscribing to the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the Archon is going to jump on this hatch. I mean, this is a decent timing. I mean, do you just right-click the hatch? You got to decide right now. He starts to back away. Going to hope that the stasis catches a lot of those roaches. Good decision, backs away and gets out with a lot of the units. That's absolutely going to be worthwhile. First time coming back over again. The +1 missiles, roach speed coming up. The Queen's going to be there to push the oracles away. Prism is going to try and hit the main. Do not mind the attempt. Lurker Den coming up, so we are kind of counting towards ShoWTimE needing an answer to Lurkers. I didn't really end up doing too much. I really thought he was going to get Storm as well, but just hasn't done so. Going to stick on Immortal Archon for the moment, and again, obviously can maybe go a bit more later. 10 drones go down, as the drones in the third base take quite a bit of damage. The Oracle's there, able to deal some hits, and ShoWTimE has actually done a lot of damage early on in this one. Center, just going to knock ourselves through a set of rocks as well, so those rocks will take some more damage. Again, the Lurker Den coming through, the hive is still building, 11 more drones and a few hydras coming up as well, +1 missiles and groove spines all on the way up. One Oracle goes down already. Just going to see the size expands and the muscular augments coming about also. That's going to be seeing our Ling Roach Hydra coming around. The Zealots and the Archon's going to get their Mortals too. Let's see, Roach Hydra still stepping forwards. As Hatchery goes down, the rest of the units stepping back as well. Let's see, a couple of Lurkers going to unburrow, go elsewhere. An Oracle overhead, just gonna see the Archon's ready to shoot. I mean, so many drones going down, harassing the main base as well, as the Zealots have been going crazy there. This game, ShoWTimE has just absolutely dominated. Solar has just not had a good response at all. He's been falling apart, being ripped apart. Gonna dive onto these forward Lurkers. They are not gonna survive. We unburrow them to try and put them in a better spot, which, I mean, does happen. But now they're so far back, do we even want to try and dive onto them? We could probably just hit the hatchery from afar. I actually think that ShoWTimE's made this a little bit messier than it ever needed to be. That could have just been hitting the hatch and being very happy with the damage being done. This Mortal's still trying to back away from there, stepping back. Get those Zealots out in front. Sola's making a much better defense to this than I think it really should have ever been on the cards, but it doesn't really matter. In the end, ShoWTimE is still going to win through. The Lurkers are all gone. And we go to Game 5. We are going to go to Game 5. Every series today really has a bit of left-hand corner. We're going to have ourselves the red Protoss player. This is ShoWTimE. He has tied us up. That was a really dominant game as well. Just damage, damage, damage. Constantly finding ways in the mineral lines, killing drones all over. A little bit of a messy fight toward the end, but he did enough to mean that it didn't really matter at the end of the day. Top right, Solar. Had some very convincing games in the middle of this series. Can he pull out another one of those right now? So, it is a final game of the series. Game number 5. Winner of this plays against Shin in the round after. Expecting that to be a big one. Shin's been so good lately. Take ourselves a moment to dip in here on Ultra Love, and Hatchcast and Pool coming up. Nexus on the way through. Nexus going down on the natural. We just have our side pool coming up as well. Again, spawn and pool and a couple drones. Let me take a few minutes waiting for that cyber core. Give us the tech choice. Obviously, tech takes a little bit to set up in the PvZ. We expect Stargate. We expect Oracles. Ultra Love as a map. Definitely some of the bases a bit spread out. The third to the fourth can become a little bit tough, maybe. So maybe I kind of like Solar's chances a little bit more, just kind of heading into this to begin with. And Lynx be coming up. A couple queens and the drones are coming through, and the Stargate is building. Adept and the warp gate coming up on the side of ShoWTimE. Again, I'm surprised at all to see the Stargate get those oracles up, start controlling this game. Adept gonna fire, queen gathering up. I see a couple of adepts coming through, drones taking some shots. Seeing the adept is going to get surrounded and killed there, so we'll fall down. The link speed coming up, the oracle and the warp gate coming through. All in a moment, more drones, link speed, all coming about. So the oracle comes over and they move around. Lings gather up there as well. Lings will move about. A couple of Lings going down immediately. That's a good defense on that probe. Wow. Keeps the probe alive. Usually you see that probe go down. You have to reset for it a little bit, but yeah, that probe gets to survive. Next is on the way up. Oracle and the warp gate coming through. Again, more drones coming about. Our queens in production. Team is coming in. ShoWTimE has done decent damage throughout this series to Solar, has been able to get to some good starts, so kind of expecting that to be maybe one of the options for him here again. This is going to be already good damage for sure. 3 workers going down, finally the drones pull. So 3 workers, quite a bit of lost mining time as the drones pull away, the adepts finally fall. Not a bad start. Now the oracles dive the main, but that's a good defense. Queen and a spore. The oracle's going to go around the back. They're actually going to dive for a drone still. This they commit, they can hide in that top right corner. From there, they obviously can hit the main. They can also swing across to the natural, maybe, so they do still have options. So those choices are available. As more adepts hit the third base, ShoWTimE's still trying to find damage. We'll shape those adepts into the lings, but they're still going to be good to get a couple more drones. It's now 6 workers killed before the 5-minute marker. And ShoWTimE's Twilight Council and Forge follow-up are now well underway. Things come across, Oracle overhead, Stalker there to fight, a couple of queens. Gonna push the oracles back as well. Oracle's still activating and chasing those lings away. Plus one and Blink all coming through. The couple of gateways coming up. Probes are on the way out. Solar also has some Zerglings on the other side of the map, but they get deflected without any issues, so they do not manage to do anything at all. Fire building, extra drones on the way. And that melee upgrade coming through also. Drop a Baneling Nest down just at the front, at that wall off, so just going to get that settled. A few lings continue out down to the bottom as we do have our gateways building up. So +1 Blink, the gateway's coming. ShoWTimE readying the charge into the next stage of this game. Getting into this next step, next few moments. Let's try and move into the third base here and just going to have, good wall off. That's a cancel, but there's a battery there. Is that enough DPS? It is starting to get rid of this first Stalker. Runs out of battery energy as well, so that becomes a little bit more of an issue. ShoWTimE is also focusing on pushing on the other side. That's an Overlord. Still actually dangerously close to being supply blocked, but 2 new Overlords, I guess, will solve that. Again, utilizing the stasis wards to provide some retreating potential on those Stalkers. Talk so much about that because it's such a major part of this matchup. As these Stalkers here need to be careful. They step up to fight the Queens. I just don't know if ShoWTimE was really expecting that. I don't think he realized his Stalkers were up on a little bit of a fight. Plus 2 attack, +1 armor, both continuing to build. Charge upgrade will start also on the side of ShoWTimE, so he gets that going. Battery coming through as well. The Ling's going to come charging up as we start blinking back a little. Those Lings taking quite a few shots. Our Queen going to get shot at also. Lings around the top. Stalkers blink around. Again, 3 probes going down already. The Ling's going to get caught in the stasis ward. Solar is in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have enough Hydras to fight these Stalkers just yet, and the few Hydras that are out are just going to have to run until better numbers come around. ShoWTimE is going to target fire down some of the Queens as well, just getting rid of some of the bulk of this defense. So many Lings went down already, and ShoWTimE definitely still pushing in, looking good. Can he get rid of more of these Hydras? I think he does need to start killing a couple of Hydras. If you just keep killing Lings and Queens, the Hydra count does get good enough to just, machine gun down. They do so much damage. Glass cannon units, but yeah, if there's enough of them, then great. And we're getting to that point where there might just be enough of them. Although we're also getting to the point where they kind of are the army. So again, it's that kind of glass cannon issue of if they're taking damage, it's not going to be great. And again, Stalkers that can blink, Hydra numbers might not be good enough. Stalkers are still just running from across the map, by the way. This is not a forward pylon or anything of the sorts. And ShoWTimE keeps up the pressure here. Very aggressive with the Stalkers in this game. Kind of a little bit choked up. Definitely having some issues because of that. Blink back a little bit further. The Hydras, do they want to chase forwards? Not really. Not through the choke point. And not into those stasis wards either. If Solar went for that, ShoWTimE would capitalize in a big way. It's going to be seeing the Storm coming online, so that's going to get going. The charge coming up as well. So we're just going to pull back. PvZ's going to turn around as well. Hydra's going to take some damage again. Let's do attack, Storm, both building at the moment. Can we see now? Pulling Hydra Bane, continue to come back across. It's going to be seeing the Storm's going to have to step back a little bit as well. I just don't push through. I mean, this is where ShoWTimE's obviously, attacked into the Storm for. With a couple Storms coming down, those Hydras taking even more damage. This is looking very good. As our Stalkers, High Templars keep on pressing through, those Hydras taking even more damage. ShoWTimE is going to clean up this attack, and this is pretty committed from Solar as Bane's on the bottom side getting freed, but just getting shot down by cannons. Chasing for those High Templar. We forced the Archon morph, but it's not going to matter. ShoWTimE is going to have the win, and ShoWTimE will advance into the quarterfinals for a matchup against Shin that we know can be rather excellent. I throw us back.